because it's just, I know what it's like to be in those situations where things are tight and you just got to rely on your legs and your training and the willpower you've got between all the athletes in your crew. So great job, all crews in that race. That was a great composure.
Yeah, great. And the just that tiny, near imperceptible momentum that allowed the crew that SA came across in first unofficially to have the confidence to believe that, you know what, maybe we could get this.
Every stroke.
They came down in the time trial in 6th, and here they are. They took one of the semis, you know. So just keep leveling it up. You have opportunities with every warm-up and every stroke that you take to find more speed. And more speed is already happening on the course. So I'll stop digressing. Here we go. Men's youth quad. So we are on to sculling events once again. The first of 2 AB semis is already well underway, nearly almost 750 meters into this race. Across the lanes are Los Gatos, Indianapolis, Maritime B, Haddon Township, Camp Randall, Long Beach Juniors, White Marsh B, and Conestoga. So 8 crews out on the field right now. What's that? My math is 32 athletes and 64 oars.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on. There's a lot. And then this one, again, 4 athletes, each athlete 2 oars each, but without coxswain. So having rowed the quad myself multiple times, you know, the role of that coxswain in this boat class is distributed equally among the different athletes in the race. So you've got the steering set by the person in stroke seat, so on top of the rhythm and the rate. They are also sometimes controlling a bit of a tow. So we talked about that in the pairs. Sometimes in a junior boat that happens in the bow seat as well. So bow seat does a lot of the navigation, especially in the warm-up area where they may have to navigate around different crews doing different stuff. Depending on the boat, sometimes the 2 seat is calling the race plan. So a little 1 or 2 words that everyone recognizes where these shifts are occurring. And 3 seat there for the meat and potatoes of the engine. So, you know, depending on where you are, you've
3 seat with the meat, you said. It rhymed. It just that rhyme struck me. You know, the thing about quads too is how fast they get up to speed. And so not only, you know, what we're going to see is that we have 7-minute centers here, but with the boats going faster and faster, we might see more and more of the race because we're going to get back up to the top. And speaking of the speed that we have, there is open water right now for Los Gatos. They were our early leaders. You know, they're going to correct their steering just a little bit right now as they get back into the center of the lane. That might be happening with a foot. It might be happening with a little bit of stroke length. I always recommend a little stroke length instead of pressure, because when you're already at max, how do you go more max, right? You just have to do it a little bit technically differently. So Los Gatos out there in front, 2 lanes over is Maritime B. Maritime has had a fantastic last couple of years developing, especially on the sculling side. So Maritime B there right now sitting in second, not quite a length over Indianapolis, but look on the far side whose rate has gone up. The sprint is happening even more is White Marsh B. They want to be in those top 4 spots, sprinting it out, being pressed by Conestoga on the outside as well. And on the next lane over from these 3 lead crews is Haddon Township. So those are the crews right now. Haddon Township looks to be potentially in 6th right now because Conestoga is really pouring on the pressure, which is helping White Marsh hunt down that line. White Marsh here in those kind of green and bluish blades as we see on the inside, staying tidy, releasing in front, making sure they aren't yanking the boat down the course, but continuing to push and then let it have its free speed. But it is Los Gatos out in front in that white hull on the far side with right now it still is Maritime B, who wants to get back and not let them have clear water. Bow seat just checked over. They took a little peek to see where they were. Gosh, there's a lot of clean, solid, strong rowing happening right now. Indianapolis is there, top 3 right now. So tight between White Marsh and Haddon Township. Haddon Township was in there the whole time, and White Marsh's sprint, unofficial, that's going to be a photo finish. That sprint, White Marsh was way back there out of everyone's periphery on the left. They made the decision without a coxswain to make that happen.
Yes.
Fantastic racing by all crews. A very mature decision to sprint potentially early. Maybe it was their plan.
Maybe it was the plan, but maybe it's one of those last-minute calls. You got to have trust in your crew.
Yeah.
If someone says, you know, and again, in short words, because everyone's going as hard as they can, like, we got to go now.
Yeah.
And then you just feel the boat pick up and you just add to that momentum. So great job on the part of that White Marsh crew from either, again, by the plan or maybe just because of the situation. They've changed the game, and we'll have to check back with the results, see how that advancement happened. But again, quads, it's crazy.
Speedy. Got to move those hands very fast.
Hands,
very fast.
Legs and hands, legs and hands, legs and hands.